Imagine your car breaks down on the side of the highway, or you face an unexpected medical emergency. Or, even more worrisome, what if you suddenly lost your job? These types of unexpected events happen all the time, and without a proper financial cushion, they can send you into a downward financial spiral. But here's the good news. With an emergency fund, you can face these challenges with confidence, knowing you've prepared for the unknown. In today's video, we're diving deep into how you can create your own emergency fund, the strategies you can use, and how to build a strong financial safety net for you and your family. But before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and your support means a lot in helping us reach this milestone. Let's get into it. What is an emergency fund, and why do you need one? To kick things off, let's talk about what an emergency fund actually is. An emergency fund is a savings buffer to cover unexpected financial setbacks, things like medical bills, urgent car repairs, or losing your job unexpectedly. It's the safety net that prevents you from turning to credit cards or loans when life doesn't go as planned. But why is it so important? Well, life is unpredictable. In fact, studies show that nearly 40% of Americans wouldn't be able to cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing or selling something. If you fall into this category, it's essential to prioritize building your emergency fund to protect yourself and your loved ones from financial instability. When you don't have an emergency fund, the consequences can be severe: debt, stress, and the feeling of being financially overwhelmed. That's why the #1 priority for financial stability is to establish an emergency fund. It's the foundation upon which your entire financial security is built. How much should you save for an emergency fund? Now you might be asking, how much should I save? It's a great question and one that varies for everyone. Financial experts recommend saving between 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Why this amount? Well, it's enough to help you survive a significant financial hardship, like job loss or medical emergencies, while you get back on your feet. Let's break it down. For example, if your monthly expenses are $3,000, you'll want to aim for an emergency fund of $9,000 to $18,000. If your monthly expenses are $5,000, you'll want an emergency fund ranging from $15,000 to $30,000. I know this can sound daunting, but don't worry. This doesn't mean you need to come up with the full amount overnight. In fact, many people start with small amounts and build it up over time. Start with a manageable goal, maybe $500 to $1,000, and work your way up as you become more comfortable. Where should you keep your emergency fund? Now that you know how much you should save, let's talk about where to store it. Your emergency fund should be easily accessible, meaning you shouldn't lock it up in stocks, long-term investments, or real estate. You want to ensure that it's there when you need it. Here are some ideal places to keep your emergency fund. High-yield savings account. These accounts offer higher interest rates than regular savings accounts, meaning your money will grow just a little bit while you keep it safe. Look for an account that doesn't charge monthly fees and offers easy access to your funds. Money market accounts. These are similar to high-yield savings accounts, but tend to offer a little more flexibility and access to check writing features. They often offer higher returns, but still provide liquidity in case of emergencies. Certificates of deposit, CDs. These offer slightly higher interest rates, but they lock your money up for a fixed period. This option is good if you're willing to leave the funds untouched for a set time, but I'd recommend keeping your emergency fund in a more liquid form for flexibility. How to build your emergency fund. A step-by-step guide. Building an emergency fund can feel overwhelming, but trust me, you can do it. The trick is to take it step by step. Let's break down how you can begin building your emergency fund. Assess your current financial situation. Before you start saving, it's crucial to know where you stand financially. Take a close look at your income and expenses to determine how much you spend each month. Add up all your non-negotiable expenses like rent, utilities, insurance, and transportation. This will give you a clear idea of how much you need to save for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Set a realistic goal. Once you know how much you need, Start with a goal that feels achievable. Maybe you aim to save $500 or $1,000 in the first 3 months. This small win will help motivate you to keep going until you reach your ultimate goal of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Create a budget and automate your savings. The next step is budgeting and setting up automated savings. Take a close look at your income and expenses and make sure you're setting aside a percentage of your income for your emergency fund each month. The easiest way to do this is by setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account every payday. Even if it's just $50 or $100 each month, consistency is key. Over time, you'll see your emergency fund grow. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Look for areas in your life where you can reduce spending temporarily to accelerate your savings. Do you really need that daily coffee shop visit? Or could you cook at home a few more nights a week instead of dining out? Every dollar saved can be directed to your emergency fund. Use windfalls and extra money wisely. Whenever you get unexpected money, a tax refund, bonus, or even a cash gift, put a portion of it into your emergency fund. These one-time windfalls can make a huge difference in helping you reach your goal faster. Common emergency fund mistakes to avoid. As you work toward building your emergency fund, be mindful of these common mistakes. Using the fund for non-emergencies. One of the biggest pitfalls is using your emergency fund for things that aren't truly emergencies. That new gadget or impulse purchase is tempting, but your emergency fund should be reserved for situations like medical expenses, car repairs, or job loss. Not having enough liquidity. While you might want to earn as much interest as possible, putting your emergency fund in long-term investments can be a mistake. Your emergency fund needs to be easily accessible, so keep it in accounts that offer flexibility. Emergency fund tips for specific situations. Single people. If you're living alone, it's essential to have a fully funded emergency fund that covers 6 to 12 months of living expenses. Without a partner or family member to rely on, you'll need a larger cushion. Families and parents. If you have dependents, it's even more crucial to build a robust emergency fund. You want to ensure that, if something unexpected happens, you can support your family during times of financial uncertainty. Retirees. For retirees, having a strong emergency fund is vital to your financial security. You might not have the same income flow you once did, so you'll want your emergency fund to cover expenses for a longer period, especially if unexpected medical costs arise. In conclusion, building an emergency fund is one of the most important steps toward achieving financial peace of mind. It takes time, effort, and dedication, but the reward is worth it. You'll have the security and confidence to face whatever life throws your way, whether it's a car breakdown, medical emergency, or job loss. Remember, it doesn't matter where you start, it matters that you start. And with consistent effort and the right strategy, you can build an emergency fund that will provide the peace of mind and financial stability you need. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. And remember, an emergency fund isn't just a luxury, it's a financial necessity. Let's keep growing and building together. See you next time.